Hey guys, and welcome to this video, a little different one. I want to talk with you about the current state of Dark and Darker. As you know, I'm a Dark and Darker veteran myself. I've been playing this game for like 3 years now, since playtest 2. I was in with the lawsuit, I was in with the torrent version, I was in the playtest, I was in when Barbarian was OP, I was in when Barbarian was weak. You get my point. Is SDF's Vision cooked? Is the game cooked? What do I think? And as you know, I've always been really positive about the game, really positive about Iron Mace. I still think this game has a bright future. I still think this game has a lot of potential. But I have to admit, even me as a veteran, as a guy that is usually really positive about the game and always has fun playing it, it's really rough at the moment. And I think the three major points why it is so rough at the moment: lack of communication, the back and forth of Iron Mace, the community, and SDF. That's like my three major points why the game, and if we're really being honest about the gameplay itself, the game is awesome. The design of it is amazing. The gameplay feels great. If you're getting into it, the first 2000 hours of the game it's different to every other game, right? As a veteran with 3500 hours, there's nothing to experience in this game anymore. And that's okay, right? That is completely okay. As you played every part of this game, you slowly realize the crucial mechanics of this game. Solos is mostly a third-party fuckfest of people running away and closing doors behind you. Trios is just a buff ball or kite meta depending. Stat overtune 3v3 with almost zero skill involved in my opinion. It's just 2 has better stats and better combo. And duos, yeah, I mean, duos is actually fun. Duos is actually quite fun. So what do I think about the changes? What do I think about them removing random modifiers, removing solos, duos? Not as bad as people want them to look like. I think that focusing on one mode is a good idea. I don't think that trios is the right mode to focus on, even though that was always the vision of the game. I think if you wanted to focus on trios, you should have never implemented solos in the first case. I know they needed to do it because they needed to finance their lawsuit, but that's just shady in my opinion. But let's get back to my point. The main flaws of this game, or the main problem this game has in the first part, is a lack of communication. So my account has been reset for like 3 days ago. So after the last hotfix patch, my account got reset to a state of 4 days ago. That is pretty annoying, right? So I lost value of like 150k gold, which sucks. I noticed the technical support about it. Technical support said, yeah, he could help me. He said that other people got the problem as well. And it's now 4 days later and still nothing in the Discord. Nothing has been mentioned. Nobody got noticed. Nobody got anything back. No help from Iron Mace. Nothing. Which is complete insanity to me. It blew my mind that it's just one case that happened personally to me right now. There's thousands of things like this. Discord is burning. The communication between Iron Mace, the support, their customers is so bad. They're changing things left and right. They're not explaining things. They're not talking to their community. I don't like the shit talk on Iron Mace, but this is one of the major parts that is so bad about the game. There is zero communication about this game. There's zero communication between SDF, Iron Mace, and its customers. The technical support is just a bot. Until you actually get to someone and a real person to talk to, yeah, that should take some hours. And I think for an indie game company, what they disguise themselves as, this is not possible. Second part, the back and forth. The back and forth is probably the worst part about this game. And everyone that played that game for longer than 1000 hours knows what I mean. We got plus all attributes in, then we got plus all attributes removed. Then Barbarian gets X specialization buff, and Barbarian gets perks buff, Barbarian gets perks buff removed, we got movement speed in, we got movement speed out, stats in, we got stats out, we got multi-classing in, we got multi-classing out. You know what I mean. It feels like we're going 3 steps ahead and we're going 5 steps back all the time. And that comes to my third point, SDF and the community. I think that's the major reason of things like this happening. That SDF doesn't know what he's doing really. He has his vision. And behind that, there is the community. The community has their vision. They have the game they love and they want exactly this. The problem is that those two visions, they don't combine. Because what SDF wants is not what this game was originally planned to be, right? Or at least not what it was marketed. So the major problem is that this back and forth comes to SDF trying to balance his own vision into the game while still having to change it so that everyone is at least happy for a bit. But what comes out of this is that we have a chain. People cry about it in general Discord because the whole community is crying about everything all the time. It doesn't matter what change, they're crying, right? The developer team says, okay, they're unhappy, and if we don't change something, they will all quit and our game will eventually die. So they go away from their vision to change what the community says. Then they realize, oh, that sucks, because the community is not always right, and then they rechange it. I never understood why they just not pull through with their usual ideas, even if the game is bad for 1 year then. I mean, I understand why not, because the game will eventually die then. But I think that's like the major problem, right? That they never pulled through with their original idea and just gave up to whatever the community wanted. But now they're at the point that they always gave up on what the community wanted, so they can't go back anymore. And I'm not saying this like to glaze Iron Mace. I'm not saying this like, oh, they always did everything we wanted as a community. They're such good developers. Nah, I'm more likely saying this as they drifted far away from what SDF actually wanted and this game should be, just to finance the lawsuit and to please people to stay. Not every time in a good way. And they didn't understand the community all the time, really. But they tried to please the community, at least at the start. For the first 2 years, they really tried to please the community and tried to implement things that the community wanted. But for the last year, it slowly drifted more and more towards SDF's vision, with Druid getting implemented, with the solos and trios changes. I think the PvE mode getting taken in and getting taken out again. It's a perfect example for back and forth, which is just horrible, stupid. I think PvE mode was one of the best things that existed for beginners. Legit the only way for beginners to get into the game. And I think that it's just a horrible idea to even think about taking it out again. Also, I didn't want to make like a giga informational updated video about all of this, because there's already 1 million people doing videos like this, and I think you already know that the game is not at a good state at the moment. What do I think about SDF's idea of trios changing? I think that it could actually be fun. I disagree with most of the people saying. About the current state of the game, I think that solos are horrible. They are fun at the start, but after a few thousand or few hundred hours, you realize how bad the design of crypts and goblin caves and everything is in solos right now, and that this game was never meant to be a solo game. I know that most players are solo players, and I am a solo player myself. Probably 80% of my time I spend in this game are in solos, but it's really not enjoyable. Besides being solos and that it's fun to play solos, it's not really enjoyable. The gameplay loop, Door and Dora, you know it. Running away and running away. In my opinion, duos is the most fun mode, because trios is really unbalanced as well. But I still think balancing around one mode is really good, and I think that trios is probably the one that makes the most sense. I still think that solo shouldn't be completely removed. I think it should be an option to be played at like the weekends or something. Like don't completely remove it. Give the people an option to play solos, at least for a bit of time in a week. Removing it completely is just drifting too far apart from their direction this game has gone. Like, I understand that SDF has his vision and that he wants to change the game, and that's completely okay, but you can't do this at this point. You drifted too far away. About the random modifiers, I think that they might be a good change. They might be a good change. I feel like this game is just too unbalanced. Again, that is where this game drifted and what people are used to now. But I feel like that people, if they get used to it and they actually try to enjoy it, they would have fun with the random modifier stuff. I don't know how they're going to handle the gameplay loop then, the replayability, because right now the game is only replayable because of the random modifiers basically. If they actually get rid of this problem, I think random modifiers and trio queues, being able to random queue in a lobby full of Timmies, sweats, trios, duos, solos, red rogues, druids, duos trolling, fun builds, I think this just could be a vibe. A vibe like it was used to be. A fun mode. Where you were friendly with people. Where you spammed lobby emote. Where you had fun interacting. Just a good place to be. Fun as Dark and Darker was used to be. I think this game has gotten into a point where it's too much about grinding and looting and hate. And just being efficient and making gold rather than actually having fun and playing fun builds and doing dumb shit with people in a dungeon, finding new stuff out. I just want the game back that I used to love so much, that people used to love so much, where the community wasn't shit talking everything and everyone and the developers all the time, where people used to still enjoy this game, held the line and loved the vision rather than just down talking. And I'm not shit talking on the community. I know it became just so rough to still see the vision, to still enjoy this game for what it was used to be, because SDF and Iramace, I don't only want to blame SDF, it's the whole company, destroyed it a lot for us. It's like a toxic relationship. They destroyed our hopes 1000 times and we are on our finest draw now. I always thought this game is never going to die because the hardcore player base is just too into it. But I actually think that the next 2 months decide if this game is going to die or not. The next changes are going to decide, because I think if there's like 2 or 3 more bad changes and there's not a direct change in the vision, there's not a direct change in this game that will influence the whole future of it, this is going to be bad. They really take out solos and they do nothing else about it. And they're not going to do anything they promised. The future of this game is really bad. I will still play this game all the time just because of the love I have for it. This game gave me such incredible moments and such an unforgettable time that I will never quit until the game is eventually out and I cannot physically play it anymore. Few of my thoughts on the current state of the game, on SDF, the developer team, Dark and everything. As a solo player myself, I'm still hyped about the upcoming changes just because it's something new. And I think it just brings a lot of content. I think we should all see how it's going to be and not just hate on the game in general. I hope that the community maybe changes in the future again. It will become like a more positive place to be, and not the most annoying toxic community in the whole gaming place. Even worse than League of Legends, I feel like. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Not that informational, just my opinion on everything right now. And if you did, leave a like and subscribe like you always do, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.